Hello everyone, I'm Hunter Cook, and on today's episode of Forwritten Fruit, I have with me Zachariah Hobia?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Sorry.
Yeah, you good. Yeah, for the last name is Hobia, but to be honest with you, I'm not really sure why it sounds like that either. So
Okay.
It don't really make much sense.
I didn't want to butcher your name.
No, you good.
Okay, so
You're pretty good.
yeah. So we have on Forwritten right now, as of this recording, two of your poems. We've got Swimming Swans, and we've got Park Poem.
Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about your life and how it's led you towards writing, or just in general, tell us things about you.
I got you. So I grew up in Wetumpka, which is interesting because here in Ada at East Central University, and I mean a lot of people they talk about it as a very small town, but compared to Wetumpka, it's quite a big. It's a lot larger because I think in Wetumpka there's about 1,000 people in there. So for me, going towards writing, I wasn't originally very much into writing. I was much more into like a lot of scientific stuff, and I think I was much more interested, especially within mathematics and physics. And I think I do still keep those interests. But for me, and then I was looking to mainly get equipped within that. But as I started studying those a bit more and going more into those, I found myself a little bit more, obviously, dissatisfied, but a feeling within myself that it wasn't exactly what I really wanted to do. And then I started to get more into literature once I started getting more in those classes, and I think I started putting much more of my efforts into those. I think there's a writer, I think David Foster Wallace, that says something along the lines of, and it's more of a paraphrase, but he said something along the lines like, with philosophy, he was using about 50% of himself, but with fiction, he was using 98%, something along those lines, 98, 99, somewhere around there. And that's how I feel about fiction and poetry and literature in general. It feels as if I'm using like all of my soul to be able to produce the work that I'm doing. Of course, right now, I'm not, the quantity of my work isn't exactly, immense, mainly because I'm still got to put the years in and everything, but.
Well, we believe in quality over quantity.
Yeah.
It's not about the numbers. It's about how good what you have is, right?
Yeah. So just one good poem. I think that yeah.
Well, so you were interested in science before you were interested in English?
Yeah, I would say I'm still interested in it, and I have a lot of different interests, I would say, but in terms of priority, literature sort of takes, the first within the hierarchy. But yeah.
So what do you think, what would you say your inspiration is to write? What gets you writing in the morning?
I think for the inspiration to write, and this sort of, probably because I'm good at it. I think, yeah, straight up. But I think it starts, like the things that we're interested in, it starts out of just, curiosity, perhaps also out of some vanity, that perhaps, because for me, especially in the science part of it, it was like, oh, I'm gonna be Einstein, I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be the GOAT, you know what I mean? And then, as you get older, you start to mature a little bit more, and you start to look at a bit, and especially because those ambitions usually don't line up with the discipline to be able to match it. And so, but I think with poetry, it started as just a wish to express myself, especially, emotionally, because, I never really knew how to express myself that way growing up. And then I think it grew a little bit more into making it first priority of life because I was good at it. Yeah. And then I think now, because right now I'm trying to, and what exactly I think is trying to make it a very ingrained part of my life is by just discipline, by just doing it as almost like a habitual way of life, almost like a monastic existence type way. Yeah. So they all lead up to just making it a routine and just doing it regardless of what happens. You know what I mean? So.
I think that's a problem a lot of newer writers have, is that they lack the discipline to sit there and consistently write, which I have that same issue half the time. Is having a busy day, it's hard to sit down and just start writing something down.
Yeah, and I don't think discipline comes just like it's either. I don't think it's either there or it's not. But I think discipline comes after desiring it for so long. Because you're like, oh, I need to get more discipline. But I think if you keep thinking about it, you know what I mean. I think there's like with McMahon and one of her classes and one of the Buddhistic, what was it? The Ramanaya. Something like that. Ramayan, something like that.
The Indian text.
I don't think I might have been Indian, but it was specifically Buddhist, and it was like your thoughts are like the ox with the cart. You know what I mean, dragging it or whatever. But the idea is that your thoughts make you, and your intentions make you. And I feel like with the intent to have discipline is better than nothing. And I think once you intend to have discipline for long enough, I think it starts to actualize into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see it more as like a skill that you develop over time.
I think so too.
I don't think I was a very disciplined person until I did like wrestling in high school. And then they beat it into me over years and years.
Yeah, definitely. Especially you can see that people like military too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I could never. But well, hopefully we don't get drafted coming up soon.
Yeah, hopefully not. Man.
That actually might date this recording quite a bit. I won't say what it is that might end up with us drafted, so people in years to come can come back to this video and be like, are they talking about that thing that happened this week?
It's gonna be like some secret lost footage.
Yeah, no, it lost media about. But yeah, no. My plan is I'm a conscientious observer.
Conscientious.
Yeah. If they come and try to draft me, I don't believe in killing. But off of that topic, I think discipline is learned over years. I think a lot of people nowadays don't have anything in their life that lets them develop it as a skill, because most people go to school, they try as little as they can, they go home, they get a job, they do as little as they can there, and then they never learn like the pushing yourself further and further aspect of it. And writing requires that. You can't, because so much of it is kind of like screaming into a void. Yeah. Like there's very little immediate gratification when it comes to writing.
Yeah, especially even with like novel writing or poems. Oh. Yeah, because it's not really something you use to get like very famous or rich off of. You know what I mean?
I think writing a novel is like one of the hardest things in the world, because you're mainly writing to yourself.
Yeah, it's like a marathon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and also like, even if you do finish it, the odds of actually getting published are so low. It's like, again, it's like screaming into a void. Yeah. Notice me, please. Anyone read. But that's why I created Forwritten, is to have a place for people to put things, and then people can read it.
I think it's good that you're doing that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying my best, honestly. It's very difficult building things from nothing.
Yeah, and it's less that you're doing something perfect, but more so that you're going towards perfection.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's less so attaining something, but more so that you're getting better. And from what I understand, you seem like you're doing better, so.
I hope so. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just discipline. It's keeping with stuff, even if it feels like screaming into a void. Yeah. And trust me, writing a novel, I did that for many, many years. So you've written poetry and short stories?
Short stories, yeah.
Have you ever tried writing a novel?
I think when I was younger, I think around 18, I think I got pretty far into the novel. I wouldn't say pretty far, but I think I was around 13,000 words, somewhere around there. It was, of course, I don't, if I go back and look at it now, I don't think it'd be very good at all, right? Because you're getting better. Everyone's getting better every moment. But I think in terms of length and actual dedication towards making a longer work, I think that was the first one, and usually I start stuff now, and then I'll look to make like a novel or whatever. I have an idea, but sometimes it'll just work better as a short story.
Yeah. A lot of things work better as short stories, but I started my first novel when I was 14, I think, and at age 16, I'd gotten far enough into it that I was like, oh, no, this is garbage. I'm never touching this again. And then I started my one that I actually finished when I was 18, and then I finished it. Oh, no, I started that when I was 16 and finished it when I was 18.
Gotcha.
But it's just, it's a lot of hard work. You get pretty decently far into it. I mean, a lot of novels nowadays aren't, like, super long. It costs a lot of money to print stuff on paper.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a very weird industry, is my whole point in going off on this tangent, is that getting a literary agent is, like, so difficult.
Yeah, there's not much money in it. You know what I mean?
There's not a lot of money in it, but just even getting to a place where you are published is so impossibly difficult. Because they want you to have, like, to be in order to get published, you have to be previously published. Well, in order to get previously published, you need to get published. And so it's a catch-22 where it never matters what you do. You're screwed from the beginning. But tell me a little bit more about your life. What was young Zach like?
I would think, I mean, I'll probably get in a fight with him, but I think, because, I mean, you know me, and I go through a lot, life with sort of, kind of, I won't say a go-lucky attitude, but...
You're a real go-with-the-flow kind of guy.
Yeah, I would say I've always had that sort of temperament about me, but I think before I was a little bit more, just to be frank, like, insufferable, you know what I mean? And of course, perhaps I'm being a little, you know what I mean, I'm looking from my eyes on myself, and I'm somebody who will judge myself harder. But I think I judged too quickly. I think I judged too quickly. I think I was too sure of myself, and I think I wasn't as empathetic and whatnot. So I think overall I've become a much better person in terms of just going throughout life. So
I think it's a trend I've noticed with a lot of, like, not only college students but honors kids specifically, is that they tend to, when they were younger, judge people very quickly and think little of others, and then they get to college and they kind of mellow out. I think part of it is being around people that are similar to you. Yeah. Like, being around, I know that I used to judge people a lot more, and then I was around honors people, and I was like, oh, there's always bigger fish in the sea.
Yeah, and plus life, regardless of an honors, it got a good way of humbling you.
Yeah. I mean, college is such an interesting experience. Yeah. There's so many different kinds of people, all living different kinds of lives. And unlike high school where it's like, I wish so badly that I could, like, show my high school self what college was going to be like. Because I was so worried about just all sorts of, like, social hierarchy nonsense, and none of that matters in college. Yeah, it's very interesting. Do you think that affects your writing?
In terms of, like, changing, or what is it?
Yeah. In terms of your growth as a person, you think that's affected your writing?
Yeah, I think so. I think especially looking back, and the idea of change, I think has really affected me, because I think it's not only allowed for me to be more empathetic for others, that they can change, but I think also it has given me possibilities for myself to change as well. And so I think change is a very, very nice thing, very beautiful thing.
I agree.
Yeah, and the other thing too with changing is that I'm a little bit older, because I'm 21. Yeah. Yeah. So, and then of course I had my, I tried to go to college, and then I wasn't ready around that time. So, but for about a year or so, I just worked, and then I think being in different places and Walmarts and pizza shops, I started to gain a love and an understanding for the people around me. I think that I hadn't really, I don't know about look down is the right word, but I had not really had the chance to talk to. Yeah. Because growing up, it was just sort of, there were people, especially in high school, there's people that usually read and, study a lot, and there's people who, like, you know, like the whole clique thing, right?
Yeah.
But then, you know, I mean, you get into an adult and then everyone's struggling, and then we're all sort of comrades within the struggle.
Everyone becomes equal.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm getting at with college. Is like, in high school, it matters so much, like, what your last name is, like what family you're from, all that. And then you get to college, like, there's not only are there thousands of people now instead of hundreds, but also no one has like a last name, right? You're not the rich family, you're not the druggy family, you're just like another random college kid that no one cares about.
Yeah.
And it really makes everyone kind of equal instead of, I don't know. Maybe it was different at other high schools. My high school, there was a very clear social hierarchy where you were either part of a rich family, a teacher's kid, or your family had some sort of political connections. And those people got to have friends, and they got to be the captain of the football team. They got all the parts in the play, and everyone else got nothing. Like, they never got anything. Anything that you got, if you weren't one of those people, you got in spite of the school, not because of it. And so, coming to college, just completely, all that was gone. I didn't know who came from a good family in college, because first of all, I never cared.
Yeah.
But also, they didn't, like, wear it on their face all the time. I don't know. But I see what you mean. There were definitely a lot of people in high school that probably had a lot more going on than I ever thought, and I just never took the opportunity to talk to them. Every high school has the bad kids, right?
Kind of,
yeah. But, you know, those bad kids probably have stuff going on in their life that people don't talk about.
Makes them act up in that way.
Yeah. But tell me about, so you're a reader. Tell me about what kind of books you read. What's your preferred genre?
I've been trying to read a little bit more, because I think growing up I was just sort of, obviously the basics. I don't know about the basics, but most people read such as Harry Potter, you know, Percy Jackson's, you know, stuff like that. I was very much into, especially a lot of fantasy works growing up as well, and then but now, especially now that I'm calling myself a writer, right?
Yeah.
I try to read as much classics as I can, because I want to be able to sort of be in dialogue with the people before me, you know, and how far they've gone and how they've been able to express themselves. But I also try to read for pleasure as well. I mean, just reading itself is a pleasure. So,
what kind of classics?
Let's see, what have I read before? Like Hemingway, I love Faulkner. Faulkner is amazing. I read a little bit of McCarthy, all back Blood Meridian. I read about half, and then I put it away for a little bit because school, and then I never really got back to it. But from what I read, it was, it's Blood Meridian. It was pretty good. What else? Obviously Shakespeare.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then right now I'm also reading Tolstoy, a Russian writer.
Yeah.
Anna Karenina. This Alexander Pushkin, a Russian poet as well. He's sort of their Shakespeare. He's a very beautiful writer. In terms of Spanish writer, Jorge Luis Borges.
Never heard of him.
He's a short story writer. He never wrote a novel. He's amazing.
I've always wanted to get one of those like old sci-fi magazines from the 60s and go and just flip through the short stories that they have. Never been able to get my hands on one.
Yeah, they were big.
Yeah, no, most of those are still going today.
Yeah.
So, but just like imagine all the stuff that's lost to time, like probably really, really cool sci-fi stories that just no one decided to maintain.
Yeah.
But, I've never been like a classics guy. I read a few of them for Dr. Grasso's class. I read Lord of the Flies on my own. I didn't like it. And I read Treasure Island. Didn't like that one either.
Stevenson, right? I think.
I think so. And then I read Dracula for Grasso's class.
You like
I
that
really like Dracula.
I didn't get that.
I want to read Frankenstein. That's the one that I want to read the most.
Yeah, she wrote that when she was really young, too.
Yeah.
She was like 19, 21, something.
Yeah. I hear it's like a phenomenal piece of writing, but I haven't got my hands on it. I read the comic book version. But, yeah, classics, I don't know. I've never been able to, like, get into them. But that's probably just me. I'm sure they're really great. I haven't read any Tolstoy, but I do own a copy of War and Peace.
War and Peace, yeah, it's 1,000 pages, too.
Yeah, that's why I haven't read it yet. Oh, no, one day I'll sit down and I'll have, like, 2 weeks to kill, and I'll sit there and I'll read that. But I like long writing. A lot of the stuff I love reading is, like, web serials that are, like, 10,000 pages long, stuff like that. So I probably would like War and Peace.
So, yeah, I mean, Tolstoy, I haven't read War and Peace, but I read a good bit of Anna Karenina. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if funny is the right word, but he's, like, there's a scene where two characters are sort of hunting, and there's a hunting dog with him, and he starts, like, describing the thoughts of the hunting dog. Like, she's like, oh, I hate this guy or whatever, right? And just sort of the dog thinking. So, I don't know. But I don't know. I thought it was sort of little silly goose Tolstoy, going on, so.
Yeah, this old Russian man.
Yeah, Russian man.
This silly old Russian man.
Yeah, and then you see all, I don't know, you wouldn't, come across to me as like a jokester. And perhaps, I don't know, perhaps he didn't mean it as a joke. He was just being funny, but I don't know. So.
Also Shakespeare, I think the only Shakespeare works I've read for class. But I have read Julius Caesar and Romeo and Juliet and Macbeth. They're good. I don't know. I'm probably too harsh on them just because they're old. That probably is just a me thing. I like old. I don't know. What it is probably is that I don't like popular things. And when things become popular, I'm like, oh, it's popular, so that means it's bad. And it's kind of a habit I need to kick because there's a lot of really good stuff that's popular, and it's popular because it's really good. It's just a lot of really bad things are popular for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of assume that I'm not going to like something because other people are gushing over it. I really like Julius Caesar, though. It's definitely fun to read aloud. Like the big, long speeches about things. Have you read it?
I read a good bit of it, but I haven't fully got through it. I haven't got to the assassination. Spoiler alert. But
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
For a historical event that happened hundreds of years ago. No, I love Julius Caesar. It's the story of the worst best friend ever.
Yeah.
It's, instead of having a simple conversation with him, Brutus just stabs him to death.
You gotta die straight up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't trust your leadership skills. I'm going to stab you to death now. And then Romeo and Juliet is the story of two people that maybe fell in love a little bit too quickly. Well, she was 13 and he was 22 or something like that?
I'm not sure.
And they knew each other for some total of 48 hours and then died.
Yeah, that's how it works sometimes, huh?
Yeah, especially back then.
Yeah.
People had the lifespan of flies.
Yeah. Yeah, but even now, sort of, especially with some young people, it's just like a switch clicks and there's this, they start reasoning that God put the entire universe in order just for them to be able to meet. You know what I mean? And then so they sort of live with that intensity, and then which might end up in a sort of Romeo and Juliet situation
where they kill themselves.
Yeah, basically.
Let's hope not.
Yeah.
I don't think that's that common. I don't think people kill themselves.
Yeah, I won't say it's common. I think it's possible.
I don't know. Suicide trends are so awful to me. COVID. Have you seen the data on COVID in young people?
No.
There was a huge spike in teen suicides when COVID happened. And it's so awful to me because I feel like all of that could have been avoided. Not to get political or anything, but I feel like that whole situation could have easily been avoided, and I think that those young people didn't have to die. And it just makes me feel really terrible. It's one of those things where it's You wish that society did more to help people on the brink, but also, like, a lot of what society does to help people on the brink just doesn't help. I don't know. It's a complicated situation. Regardless, what were we talking about, Romeo and Juliet?
I think so.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Macbeth. Have you read Macbeth?
I have read Macbeth. I read that in Grouse's class, too.
Oh, my gosh.
I love Macbeth.
So for an honors assignment, we did the trial of Macbeth. And it was me as Macbeth. And
you was Macbeth?
Yeah, I was Macbeth. So it may have been a mistake on my part, but and then there was a girl's Lady Macbeth, and basically the trial was to see if we were innocent or guilty. And I understood what the assignment was. I don't think a lot of the class did, because they walked into it saying, well, of course Macbeth is guilty. We read the book. We know he kills him. And it's like, no, the assignment was to, like, simulate a trial.
Yeah.
Right? So you had to provide evidence. But their evidence was, well, of course you're guilty. And so it became this big fight where one side of the class understood the assignment and the other class just, like, belligerently didn't. And it just kept going back and forth, back and forth. And at one point, the prosecutor, I'm not naming any of these people, but the prosecutor went up to me and was like, so, did you kill him? And I was like, no. and he was like, what? You did kill him? And I was like, no, I didn't kill him. And he was shocked that I would say, no, I didn't, as if, like, I have, like you would just admit it? Yeah, like if I was on murder trial, I would sit there and be like, yeah, no, I killed him. I killed all of them. I'll kill them every day. Why would why would Macbeth ever do that? And then what ended up happening is the jury convicted me, and then Lady Macbeth got scot-free. I think I was robbed. I think I did a good job defending myself, and so what we tried to do was we tried to blame the fates or whatever. Spoilers for Macbeth for anybody listening. That one's not a historical event. That's just a book, or a play. But the three fates knew everything that was going to happen. Our argument was, they knew everything because they killed him and they pinned it on me. But it was a fun assignment, but it was very frustrating having to deal with people who couldn't wrap their head around what we were supposed to be doing. Again, college is a very interesting place. Sometimes you get classes like that.
Yeah.
Although I've had a lot of classes where it's like just the perfect combination of people, and it's a wonderful, awesome time. And then I have a lot of classes where one person ruins it for everyone. I don't know. I'm glad to be graduated though.
Yeah.
I never want to.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Weight lifted off my shoulders.
Yeah.
But are you ready to graduate anytime soon?
I think I got another about 2 years.
Okay.
Probably about 2.5 years, somewhere around there. Because I was going to do about 12 credits a semester, and I think if I just do that, I could probably graduate in the fall of 27, somewhere around there.
Okay. So, how do you think you're an English major, right?
Yeah.
How do you think that's affected your writing?
I think I'm a lot more... I think my theories on writing are a lot more formidable now instead of... I think with teaching yourself stuff is... Learning the literature, I think, is very good. And being, I'm saying, I don't know about comfortable, but just informed on it, right?
Yeah.
On literature traditions of the past. But I think also your theories on what exactly these traditions actually are, you can have other people in the English major, especially the professors, sort of discuss with you and, I don't know about interrogate, but critique your theories.
Dissect.
Yeah. And then, so I think, in terms of my theories on literature, as well as how exactly what it is and its use in society, I think it's a lot more formidable now. Yeah.
I think reading classics helps too. Just reading in general, like anything.
Yeah.
I think reading helps you get a grasp on pacing and characterization. Reading what you like helps you write what you like. Most of the time, anyway. I guess sometimes it doesn't. But, yeah, that would be my biggest bit of advice, is if you want to learn to read a lot, just all the time. But, so, what do you prefer, poems or short stories? Reading and writing, how about that?
With writing, I try to do everything as a poem, but sometimes the poem, I don't think it's necessary, because I try to make everything poetry, but I think it's, whether it's in like a traditional format, I think it's less so whether it's poetry or not, but more so whether it's in verse or it's in prose. And so, yeah, and then I just see like a novel as just a long poem. I think it's most beautiful. Then for reading, I think it depends on what exactly, I don't know. Let's say poetry.
Okay.
For reading, yeah, because I like to read it aloud.
Yeah. Yeah, you've done some poetry reads on campus. Yeah, for the Originals event.
Yeah, I also go over to Kind Origin as well.
Yes, you were featured there at Kind Origin.
Yeah, back in May.
How was that?
It was good. It was sort of my first, well, I won't say my first. About a year ago, before that, I had also featured at the Lunchbox over in Shawnee, Oklahoma, and they were very gracious for the post, allowing me that opportunity. But around that time, I was not very put together in my poems, and I was not very, I think, it wasn't as good a material as I hoped that I would be able to present. But here in May in Kind Origin, I was pretty happy with what I had to display. I had a great amount of material. I think it went on about 45 minutes, I read. I don't know. It was. I thought it went very well. And from what I hear, people enjoyed it, so I'm very happy to hear that.
Well, I'm sorry I missed it.
You good? Don't worry about it.
There's always something going on in my life that I miss everything. It's awful. But reading to a crowd is very interesting. It always feels very awkward to me. I can never tell if people are like quiet because they're interested or quiet because they hate it and they're bored. But
somewhat of a spell.
Yeah. Were you at Scissortail? Did you read for the Scissortail event?
I was there the first day, but I had something.
So you went there for the open mic?
Yeah, I wasn't.
That was certainly something. There was a lot of really good writers there. But it wasn't for the like speakers for Scissortail. It was for the audience members that wanted to share their writing. So it was a lot of amateur writers that had a lot of really good work, and some people that were, some people better than others, obviously. But I enjoyed it. So,
it's a good thing to share, regardless, though.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything else about your life you want to share?
I'm not sure. I do think I wanted to be specific. I'm not saying be specific, but I think I want to give, I don't know about props, but I think a formative year in my life was the one that I took between going to college and here, where I was mainly just working, and it wasn't even like steady work. I was hopping from job to job most of the time, and I was with the people and whatnot. Before, I think I had grown with a way of looking at the world where I don't know about like necessarily that I was better than other people, but I think I had a sort of, intellectual snobbery, if you will. And I was sort of
pompous. You were pompous.
Yeah, I think perhaps. And I would look down on people who, weren't as interested in education and interested in academia as much as me. And of course, life humbles everyone, and it humbled me. But I think especially whenever I started to work these things, I think I had I think that year of just working and being around other people that weren't so pompous as me, I think helped me humble myself and have love for not only the people that had the exact same interests as me, but also all sectors of humanity. You know what I mean? Because, there's so many different people that are just walking around every day. Sometimes I'll drive and I'll look out the window and wonder, what the story of the person is that's right next to me at the red light. And so I think, and I just don't want to come across as like condescending to like people working in, especially in very essential jobs such as like, you know, food service and blue collar jobs and whatnot, as if like I'm paying them a service by understanding them. But I think by working those jobs, I think I've come to a better understanding of my fellow human in general. And I think not only a segment of it as I was in academia, but also all segments, in that I think so. Yeah, just especially that hard work and then coming together with people.
So you would advise people to take some time to understand their fellow man and the various positions they have in life? Yeah, probably. I don't know how exactly you want to go about it, especially with, you know, college and whatnot, but I mean, you know, life isn't exactly a race. It's more so the only race you have with is yourself. Yeah. Well, that was a lovely thought.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you'd like to promote or talk about, give a shout out to?
I can't think of too much. I mean, I'm ready to keep writing. I'm ready to keep hopefully producing better work and hopefully to give something to the world.
All right. Well, this has been the 3rd episode of Forwritten Fruit, and it has been a pleasure interviewing our guest today, and that'll be all.
Thank you so much.